Close Up is brought to you by the Kia Sorento R, redefining the power of Kia.
Yes, what is more important than lives? That question haunts the residents of Franklin and it's made them angry. 2 people were killed last week at an intersection considered one of the country's worst. And it's not like no one saw this tragedy coming. Here's Mark Kreisel.
The intersection locals call Auckland's most dangerous comes up fast.
This road is just so dangerous, people just go so fast.
I hate the intersection now.
Can you believe nothing's been done here?
No, it's shocking. It should have been done years ago.
About half an hour southwest of Auckland City, the King Seat and Glenbrook roads collide, often with catastrophic consequences.
I have a broken pelvis, hip and vertebrae. I had a split liver. If it had been centimetres either side, I would have hit an artery and I would have bled out.
This is what's left of Tony Searle's car after she was T-boned at the intersection just 4 weeks ago. She knows she's lucky to be alive.
My whole life, I've got 3 young kids.
Almost 60 accidents here in the past 5 years. They really tramp through here though, don't they?
Oh, that is the problem, is the speed.
Deputy Fire Chief Butch Williams has been to most of them. He also pulled Tony out of her shattered wreck of a car.
It was the more pleasant ones to come to because he was still conscious and talking to us. That's a good sign.
Too many of those that live around here have stories of near misses and greatest hits. Paula Townley's was 2 years ago.
We were driving, towing our boat, and my husband was driving and my daughter was in the back seat.
They were smashed into by another car which failed completely to stop.
Pretty much now, that's when bang, and I saw it a second before it hit me, I think.
And when the siren winds up at Patamohoi Volunteer Fire Station, Paula feels sick.
Our house is under 2 minutes away and we hear the fire siren go off. My phone rings hot and I get instant anxiety when I hear there's been an accident here.
For the past 2 years, Paula and other locals have been leading a campaign to have a roundabout placed here. Emails and phone calls warning the council that someone will die if nothing gets done.
How would we be able to sleep at night if someone died here?
And somebody died yesterday?
Yeah.
What did you
and
think
I didn't
when you heard
sleep
that?
well last night.
Last Thursday, it happened. 38-year-old Gary Smith died in this van after he failed to stop at the crossroads and smashed into 67-year-old Janice Knox. She died later in hospital. Butch was again on the scene.
There's not really many words you can describe it, but horrible.
Does it stay with you?
Yes, yes it does. Yes. Yeah, it's one of those things that you sort of can't get rid of.
What makes it worse is that Auckland Transport had drawn up a plan for a roundabout.
They had the budget allocated in the 2011-2012 financial year to do the physical works for the roundabout. It was supposed to start in January and be completed by now.
A couple of weeks ago, locals were told by Auckland Transport that funding has been put off until the 2013-2014 fiscal year.
I'm not sure of the exact cost, but I know that the injury accident costs must have paid for it 10 times over already.
2 deaths. No one here wants to say, "I told you so." They just want something done.
They're spending money on other things that are apparently more important. What's more important than lives? How easily could my life have been taken? And there was a life taken here yesterday. It's ridiculous. How many more lives does it have to be before it's a priority?
We wanted to hear from Auckland Transport tonight. I'm sure you did too. But this was as much as we got. A statement. Now, To my mind, statements are the refuge of those keen to dodge the spotlight. But to be fair, they say they're in negotiations to buy the land needed to build the roundabout and can't start anything till they own it. And even then, the project will have to be funded. So why has it taken so long? Why is funding still an issue? Why do the locals feel they've been given the runaround? Well, Auckland Transport aren't here to tell us, but joining me now is the head of the Franklin Local Board, Andy Baker. Do Auckland... Look, let's be blunt. Does Auckland Transport, are they responsible for those deaths on Thursday?
Oh, no, they're not responsible, I don't think. You know, it's been sad that they've happened in the meantime while we wait, but we need to stop waiting. We need that action. They
say they're trapped in a process, you know, and they've been negotiating for 7 months for this land. Is that the only thing that's held this up?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there has been, you know, there's been the issue with the land purchase, but that's just a process they've got to go through. You know, there are other reasons why this has dropped off the other end of the budget.
And what are those reasons?
Oh, look, the big projects that are in Auckland that we're told that aren't, you know, having any effect on the rates and the ratepayer, they are sucking money out of local projects across Auckland.
So the small folk are shoved out of the way while the stuff goes on in the big smoke?
Oh, absolutely. Amity, the big project out East Auckland's sucking up $100 million of funding. You know, 1.7 million's going to looking at design and feasibility for a tourist train out to the airport. You know, where does that stack up when you've got human life at risk, I say?
So the tourists are more important than the locals?
Well, I would hope not.
You were a cop, right? I mean, you've had to go and do that knock on the door. And I think you were telling me before, this is the worst thing you've ever had to do.
Oh, that is the worst thing. Anyone in the police will tell you it's the worst thing to do. You know, deal with fatal accidents and have to deal with the families afterwards is absolutely the worst thing to do.
In some ways, if the other projects have taken precedent, is it the Auckland Council then who have set the direction here? Rather than Auckland Transport, Auckland Council say, we want this, this and this done, and that's elbowed the other projects out of the way. Yeah,
I feel sorry for Auckland Transport. They've been put in a pretty difficult position. You know, just before they signed off on their regional land transport program, they were told that they, you know, they had to make some funding. They were under funding, you know, pressures, and they've had to find some cuts, and so they've done that.
Let's make it clear, because you guys were saying, we want this done, this is our priority, there's nothing more important for our district than getting this intersection sorted out.
Yeah, absolutely. Our local board plan has safety on rural roads as one of our priorities. This was our #1 priority for rural roads. The Glenbrook-Kingseed intersection, where, you know, 35 people have been hurt, a handful have been killed since 2009. It stands clear as the #1 priority for us.
They need to listen to you. How are you going to keep the heat on, Andy?
Well, obviously tonight's going to help. But all we can do is to keep asking, is to keep battling, and which we shouldn't have to do. You know, it should stand on its own, this project, but it doesn't. And we'll just keep battling, you know. We owe it to the people of Franklin.
And I hope no one else loses their life for the meantime.
Absolutely right, mate.
Well, Andy Baker, thank you so much for joining